So what they want you to do is what they call a shock to the system. And the word that I'm putting to it is a reset. And specifically, they want you to put 2025 to bed. That's their words. They want you to put 2025 to bed. I am really excited to come to you today with my very first weekly spirit guide report. About a week and a half ago, this came to me, and with other events that were conspiring during that time, I knew that I had to do this starting today, right away, really fast. There's a lot of spirit guides out there, mine included, that want to start getting some information to you as quickly as possible through this free report. Let's dive straight in. I've done this before in different ways, in different containers, mostly around healing with groups. And this one is going to be quite different. And I honestly don't know what to expect. So let's not wait anymore. This week, as we head into the ending of this year, and I believe most of us have heard this many, many times in the last probably month, maybe 2 months, maybe the whole year if you're really tapped into these ideas. But this year, 2025, is a 9-year. It is a kind of a brutal year for changes. It's a brutal year for endings. It's a brutal year for things coming up in really big ways in order for you to face your own authenticity, in order for you to really start becoming who you are and stepping into yourself. It definitely has been that for me. And as the year is starting to come to a close, that is the theme of this entire reading. The first thing they're initially showing me is a giant sinkhole in the earth, about 20 feet wide. It's in a forest, lots of green around. So the difference between the bright green and the light coming through the filtered leaves and this giant dark sinkhole is, the contrast is very apparent. This is a giant hole. You can't see the bottom of it. It's so dark you can't even really see the sides of it. So it's daunting. It's just a big giant hole, and there's no safety, right? There's no railings. There's no rails around it. And if it is not shored up on the side, it festers. It starts to sink in more. The edges start falling in more. So it's not getting better. It's only getting bigger as it wears on itself and wears through time. As you go about your life, managing this sinkhole, you're learning to step around it. You're learning to give it its space. You learn to keep it in the background. It becomes habitual. It's a habitual part of your life that you keep sidestepping, that you keep walking around and habitualizing a new path around. And when you start to explore new experiences, if you start to explore bringing people along in your experiences, if you're starting to bring hopes and dreams and you're pulling along these things, they might not know, and I'm saying they as in if your hopes and dreams and experiences and the people are all alive and following you, if they don't know to follow you exactly, they might sidestep and go into the hole and be lost forever. So what the spirit guides are bringing forth in this metaphor, specifically for the end of this 9-year, this sinkhole is about our past experiences. Now, those experiences might be our 2025 experiences. They might be our entire life experiences. But each of these experiences we might put a negative cast on, have their own sinkhole, and we're walking around. And we might be walking around a whole lot of sinkholes, you guys. We're navigating a whole lot of sinkholes so that we don't fall in and we don't get lost and we don't get scared of this sinkhole and we don't do all of this. And the one thing, a lot of us do work on healing these sinkholes, right? We do work very diligently on that. But if we aren't putting our attention on it, at the end of this year specifically, we're in trouble. Okay? That's not an ominous statement, But as we're going into the year one, the new year, the new us, really stepping into our authenticity with a fresh step, we do not want these sinkholes to be something that we continually putting our effort into avoiding. Okay? So we need to take these unresolved holes in our life and start to fix them. If they're left unresolved, they become like going and sitting and watching a rerun for the 100th time, 10 years after it aired, over and over again. You're staring at the TV with no new inspiration or no new motivation, and it's such a habit. You're sitting down and you're watching the same rerun so many times, it becomes such a habit that you don't even realize it. It's just something that you're doing instead of knowing that there, this was funny, knowing that there are fresh new shows, let alone unlimited streaming series now. So they're making this connection to all of the opportunity that we have when we turn on our smart TV, when we click into our internet, but we still keep going to that same rerun because it's just habitual. So what they want you to do is what they call a shock to the system. And the word that I'm putting to it is a reset. And specifically, they want you to put 2025 to bed. That's their words. They want you to put 2025 to bed. They want you to almost every single hole that you have, they're telling you, do a Princess and the Pea mattress in there. Like fill that thing up, start understanding it, really put some softness into it, some understanding, some thought, and dig in to what you have to do to fill up that hole. Because in the one year, the next year, we want a nice soft ground to be falling onto, to be walking across, to not be scared of, to not be hemorrhaging our energy, dumping into, I don't want to fall into that hole again. Okay? And they want you to do this through the knowledge of neutrality. If we've created a hole through something that was not happy, through something that we deem unhappy, through something that caused us grief or pain or disappointment, or we didn't get our highest expectation, or anything else that could be at the lower end of the spiral, the shame, the loss, the grief. Anything that has happened to us, we could put into a hole. However, education isn't cheap, right? And if we are doing our work, we are learning every single time something like that happens. We are gaining so much good stuff out of these lower feeling experiences that we can't say that they're bad experiences. There's no way that we could ever say that they are bad experiences because we are gaining so many gems from them, more gems than we would say perhaps if we had gotten a win instead of a loss at that moment in our lives. So they're giving you a mindset shift, switching your mindset 100% more positive, because the gems we're finding for both the wins and the losses are all gems. They are all just getting stockpiled into your treasure chest. And the problem is what they're calling the goal gap, the expectation, the falsehood of an expectation, the goals that we are telling ourselves that we are going to make. And these are all things that we're making up. They're not real things. And if we have too hard of an expectation on our goals and we don't allow the universe to come in and work its wonder, then we aren't going to have the journey that is going to make the goal gap in our lives the magic that it's supposed to be. Our goals aren't supposed to be getting that thing checked off over there on the checklist. Our goal is the experience and the joy and the wonder that we can have in between now making that goal and creating whatever has to happen for that goal to get checked off, right? If we're just checking things off, we're not living life. We're not getting very much out of it. And they're telling me also what these holes actually are fear. And that fear is simply a prediction that you're making from past experiences that you have labeled with those lower words. It's just predictions that you're making out of the expectation that something bad will happen again. And we know how true that is, correct? So, as we bring this first reading to a close, they're telling me that you're going to know that you have done the work appropriately before our number one, before the 1 year starts again. If you are entering 2026 excited, if you're entering 2026 open and expansive and knowing, believing that the universe is only conspiring with you, and that includes a couple of those punches in the nose that the universe gives us, right? Keeping us on track. The universe is always conspiring in your favor. And knowing and believing and floating upon the fact that 2026 is only filled with unlimited opportunity for you instead of the fears, these holes, these scary things that we could be falling back into. All of those are just shadows and memories that are hearkening from the past, pulling us back from our future through fear. And that's not what this number 1 year is holding for us. So I invite you to dig deep, put all of those holes and troubles from the past, especially from 2025, put 2025 to bed with wonder and neutrality and knowing that everything is just conspiring for you in the future. Have a good week. Bye.